Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at the Vitality Stadium, where Bournemouth lead against Brighton by 1-0. Had a bit of a delay at the end. Well, we had a few stoppages in the first half. That's why we're a little bit late in coming out and starting the second half. But we are underway now. Bournemouth leading after that strike from Alex Scott, and a great strike it was as well, hitting it from just outside the box on 18 minutes. To give the home side the lead, and that was actually after Brighton made a slightly better start, albeit just in terms of their attacking intent. They didn't actually create too many chances, throughout the whole 45 minutes, so that will have to improve here for Fabian Hürzeler's side. They started to get little glimmers towards the end of the half. We need to see a little bit more from the Seagulls, as it's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and John Hogan taking through the action. John, Bournemouth, obviously they'll be looking for a second goal because 1-0 is never enough.
No, exactly that. Brighton are a dangerous team, aren't they? And we've seen that. We know that they've got the quality to get round the back. We know that they've got good players. So, yeah, for Bournemouth, they're a very swashbuckling team, aren't they? It's almost like they're not exactly controlling it, but every time they do attack, it looks meaningful and with purpose. So there's no doubt that both teams, I think, could score in this second half. It'd be interesting to see. And
well, just as we say that, less than a minute into this second half, it's a bit of a lunge there from James Milner, and this is going to give Bournemouth a free kick. It was Alex Scott who was brought down, but now Bournemouth have a free kick in shooting range.
Well, I mean, again, it should be a yellow card. That he's properly upended him, and the next thing was he got the ball booted right at him, Milner, didn't he? Like, how dare you do that? But Scott's having a great game today, and Tyler Adams got yellow carded there. Don't know what he's part of. That must have been kicking the ball at Milner.
Possibly, yes, I think so, yeah. In fact, no, I'm just looking at our score updates page. It looks like Adams got that yellow card in the break, so he must have said something to the referee going off the field, and it's now that we've come back to live TV pictures that we've now got confirmation of that on screen. But
what would that have been about?
Very difficult to say, but it might have been for the free kick that was given just before the end of the half. But but Bournemouth won't mind this if they can use the free kick. They've got left-footed Brooks and right-footed Scott scanning over it, and it will be Brooks to go for it. It was on the wrong side for the left footer, really. It was on the left-hand side of the field, so Brooks trying to find that, I always like to say, that sort of collar-off finish where he tries to sort of hit it round the near post, but in the end he gets it all wrong and it's over the bar.
Yeah, that's quite right. I mean, he's hit its side foot, so he's getting the action up and over the wall and then to drop in, but he just doesn't get it right there. It's very difficult to hit that right. Brooks fancied his chances, but you like me, thinking, left foot from that side. Nah, it's not going to work.
Seems very unlikely, but Bournemouth have now got some defending to do because Brighton are on the attack. It's a clip ball over the top from Ruter all the way towards the byline, hit down the right-hand side. Bournemouth had their arm up for an offside against Minte. The flag hasn't gone up. Minte does get across in. It's a decent ball in as well, and that's an equaliser for Brighton inside the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. It's Karua Mitoma at the far post just nodding in. Bournemouth completely forgot about him there, and it's really just a quick move from Brighton, a ball down the right, across into the box, and it's 1-1.
Again, though, it's brilliant. Loads of parts of this. One is the Ruter going deep for the ball. Then he does that lovely lob wedge pass. He's done it before, put Minter in the clear. He's still got a wriggle.
Oh, he's Petrovic doing that.
But then numbers in the box as well. As the cross comes in, quite right, we could look at the goalkeeper. But do you know what? There's loads in those blue and white shirts in there. He gets underneath the ball. Petrovic is in no man's land when the ball's headed in by Mitoma at the far post. But look at the numbers they've got in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4 as the ball comes in, and it's an easy header. Defender there is marking nobody, James Hill. I think you've got to think, what am I doing here? What am I? He should be marking up there because Space ain't going to score that goal, and instead he gets detached from Mitoma, and he won't score an easier goal this season.
He won't. I mean, as you mentioned James Hill, but I just come in and say Petrovic has done the worst thing you can do as a goalkeeper, which is starting to move for a cross and then changing your mind, because that means that he's not stopping the cross and he's not in any position to try and stop any potential shots on goal, and that's precisely what's happened. But Bournemouth responding straight away. Semenyo laying a ball back, and a cross coming in from James Hill, which is swept all the way back to the halfway line. Just to remind you very quickly, the 2-11s. Petrovic in goal for Bournemouth, the back four of Hill, Miroslajevic, Marcos Senesi and Trufer. The two holder midfielders are Adams and Scott. The three ahead of them are Brooks, Tavernier and Semenyo, with Evan Nilsson as the front man. Brighton were forced into two changes during the first half because of injury. They have Verbruggen in goal, then a back four of Veltman, Van Hecke, Dunk and Kai Doglu, who came on for De Kuyper. Two holder midfielders of Milner and Ayari, who came on for Hinshelwood. The three ahead of them are Minte, Ruter and Mitoma, with Welbeck as the front man, and it is Bournemouth in possession down their left-hand side. Truffet playing it square towards Tyler Adams. The ball going further forward. There's an overlap as well from Brooks, but it's a cross coming in from the left-hand side. It was aimed at Evan Nilsson, easily dealt with and headed away back into midfield by Lewis Dunk. A second ball though does come for Bournemouth, and there was a pass into the box which is picked off by Ayari this time, cleared up towards the halfway line, headed on by Minte, but there'll be no one in a Brighton shirt close enough to that one. So Bournemouth back in possession here now. Going down the right-hand side here with Hill. His pass, though, is charged down. It will be a throw-on to Bournemouth down the right-hand side. Played all the way back now towards Veljko Miloslavljevic. As the home side just looking to try and stop Brighton, because Brighton obviously were feeling a little bit of a bounce after that equaliser just a few minutes ago. So maybe it's logical from Bournemouth just to try and keep Brighton away from the ball.
Yeah, that's it. We saw Bournemouth when they'd scored. It gave them a lift. They had a spell, didn't they? For Brighton, more than back in it. It's great when you come out after the break. Whatever the manager said, we need to do this, we need to do that. Well, we've done it, boss. We're straight back in. That's what you wanted. So they'll be feeling good about themselves. From the manager's mouth to their actions on the field, they're back in the game. And for Bournemouth, they'll feel stung by that. They're going at their half. It'd be, a difficult half of football, but the home team had the lead. Here come Brighton again. Yeah,
Bournemouth losing the ball on their left, and it's now Minte charging towards the edge there. He had three players to try and pick out at the edge of the box. Took a little bit too long. The ball does eventually find Ruter, but he's surrounded by people now, so he's not going to be able to control it. And Bournemouth clear their lines up towards the halfway line, in fact, where Tavernier runs straight into trouble, but he wins his side a throw-on.
Well, Brighton had two players at the edge of the box then, just waiting for the ball to come. And you're just thinking, well, the marking's poor. Brighton have got to do better in those holding positions. We haven't mentioned, their holding midfielders that much, but Tyler Adams needs to wake up there.
Well, here come Brighton. Bournemouth have just lost the ball again, and it's an overlap here now. Kaidoglu finding Mitoma on the left-hand side. Mitoma putting a cross in. It's a good header away, though. Miloslavljevic, and the ball now at the edge of the area with Evan Nilsson coming back to defend. Does well there just to shepherd the ball away from James Milner. Now some work here for James Hill as he clears it. Well, it's no one in particular. It's just the ball away from Bournemouth, from the Bournemouth penalty area. Picked up on the halfway line now by Van Hecker. Just under a bit of pressure here. Van Hecker going back towards his goalkeeper, Bart Verbruggen. Raiola, we could get just seeing pictures of him now, trying to get some instructions out to his players. Of course, it was a nightmare start for him in the second half of this team, conceding so early, and they're in trouble again now with Mitoma finding loads of space down the left, but his square ball to Ruter is just a little bit undercooked. The loose ball is picked off here by Ayari. He goes square. It's got Kaidoglu in support, and that's where the ball has gone. Kaidoglu, left-hand side of the box, across, gets a deflection. Ruter may still be able to recycle it. It's played back towards Veltman. He then chips the ball out towards the left-hand side. Nicely kept in play here by Minte, who dances away from Truffet. And Minte goes at a tight angle, but it's smashed into the side netting. And I think they might have got either a nick off the defender or the goalkeeper, because it's out for a corner.
Well, we're both saying Truffet is having a good game, and he is, but Minte's really showing up, and there a little drop of a shoulder absolutely does him. He looks like he's going to go the outside, and he just has him on toast. It's delicious play, and you could be Minte. In fact, all the Brighton boys are playing pretty well, aren't they? There it did take a big deflection into side netting, and it's a corner.
Yeah, 54 minutes on the clock. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. It's 1-1 here between Bournemouth and Brighton and Hove Albion. It's a left-footed in-swinger from Minte, headed up in the air by Semenyo. Drops here on the left-hand side of the box. It will be allowed to go out of play here by James Milner, who takes an early throw, taking advantage of the fact you can't be offside, of course, finding Ruter, whose ball into the box now is charged down by Miloslavljevic and is out for a corner.
Yeah, I mean, as a whole here, Bournemouth caught napping. Brighton just too bright for them in this second half. They need to wake up, don't they, Bournemouth? They seem to be in a slumber there.
They do. I mean, they say that it seemed like the goal had woken them up in the first half and made them feel very confident, and now conceding has done the exact opposite. There's a ball coming in, and it's a strike, and it's just wide. It was very close from Welbeck. After the initial cross got a flick on it, ended up with Danny Welbeck, who was a little bit further away from the 6-yard box. He went for goal, and the ball from Welbeck, he actually does well to hit it sort of first time. It was an awkward one bouncing towards him. It's not too far away at all.
No, he's dead unlucky there. body shape seemed to be right, didn't it? But the ball just faded away from that far post. Yeah, Bournemouth have got to wake up, but that's a better ball from Scott, and here come the Cherries now.
They do. Can they respond with a bit of attacking possession themselves? It's nice work to hold it up at the edge of the area there from Tavernier. There's support down the left, and it's a sweeping ball across. It just needs a touch in. It was, I think, was it Brooks and Truffet linking up on the left-hand side again. I think it was Brooks' ball ultimately that was fired, and we'll just see that in the replay here, John. But Evan Nielsen, he's onside. All he's got to do is just get the right touch on that one, but it might have been the defender that we've got to give credit to.
I think Dunk there just shinned that ball away from Evan Nielsen at the far post. It was a great ball across, and Bournemouth, whenever Bournemouth go forward, they look like they can create something. We said that. I wouldn't be surprised we will see a few more goals as Brooks falls over a bag when he's taking the corner.
If he was an away player, of course, everyone would be cheering that, but as he's in front of his own fans, it's just a few little cheeky giggles here and there as the ball comes in. It's a good ball as well. It's a curling, in-swinging effort from that right-hand side, but there's all kinds of pushing and shoving in there. It's Van Hecker who hits the deck, and the referee says it's a free kick.
Yeah, we'll take another look. He gets a little shove in the back before the ball comes in then, and a bit needless that from James Hill. He's marking nobody, Van Hecker there.
I agree.
Really.
I sometimes think that with all the wrestling matches you see at every corner kick, some players just instinctively push another player just to be on the safe side, and actually they can sometimes be giving away a free kick when there's no need to even have that contact in the first place.
Well, Van Hecker, he's not marking him, so if the ball drops to him, it drops to him, Given that we've got cameras all over the place nowadays, he ain't going to really get away with it either, so there was no point. It was a needless foul, wasn't it?
It was just a get-out-of-jail-free card, really, for Brighton in terms of putting pay to that set piece, and it's now the Seagulls in possession, albeit it's a long way from the penalty area, but they're trying to push forward here now with Ruter. There's a support from Milner on that right-hand side, then he gets it into Minte, who tries to take his man on for pace. He is able to still get a ball into the box, but he was doing it right from the byline. And it's dealt with in the end there by Marcos Senesi. Now Bournemouth bringing the ball away down the left. Specifically, is with David Brooks down that left-hand side. It's a strong challenge from Ruter. It couldn't be. It was right in front of Iraola, and that's Bournemouth bench reacting, and a yellow card there straight away for the Brighton number 10. Meanwhile, the Bournemouth number 7 is down on the ground.
Deserved his yellow. I was thinking about the Tyler Adams thing, thinking that he was dead lucky that he didn't get booked just before the break. You remember, and maybe he did, but anyway, it's certainly there. You've got a man running away from you over the halfway line, right in front of Areola's bench as well. But Ruter gets the yellow card that he deserved. Yeah,
it was a bad challenge. He's a forward player, Ruter, sliding in. Stopping quick players on a counter-attack is not his forte, and he would prove that really with that challenge, because I think a more defensive-minded player would have realised that challenge just wasn't on at all.
He's that far away from goal. I can't believe that move's that important. But anyway, he took one for the team, if you like. He made his own decision about triage. Did he need to deal with it? Well, he thought he did, and he chopped his man down and got a card.
He did. We're at Brighton in possession now. But that's a terrible ball from Lewis Dunk. He was playing it back towards the halfway line. It's been picked off here by Tavernier, but Tavernier's all alone, surrounded by 5 Brighton players that are superbly well to hold it up, and finds Evan Nielsen, who wants it on his left. Was he brought down by Van Hecker? The referee says yes. It will be a penalty to Bournemouth, and I'm not too sure that VAR is going to save Brighton here.
That was terrible defending. Tavernier spins and turns, but there are 5 defenders back. But yet Evan Nielsen's able to peel away from all of them inside the box. Space ain't going to score. And there he is. When he picks at the ball, he cuts. And Van Hecker hangs a leg out. He'd be dead unlucky there because there's minimal contact. But he's hung that leg out there. And Evan Nielsen's saying, thank you. Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Who knows, if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for Kaidoglu coming back into the box, maybe Evan Nielsen would have thought, I could actually get a shot away here, even after that contact. But once he sees Kaidoglu there and he feels the contact, he thinks, right, we'll get a penalty out of this.
Minimal contact. It's hardly, the 2 legs have hardly kissed together, but they have touched. And you shouldn't be hurdling a challenge inside the box. But what Van Hecker's thinking there, but letting Evan Nielsen go. He's got number 9 on his back, he's a target. But they've let 5 defenders back, and not one of them decided to mark him.
It's disappointing that it all starts off with Lewis Dunk playing a ball back towards the halfway line and missing his teammate by yards. Then Tavernier does really well to draw all those Brighton players, but as you said, they shouldn't all be drawn to that one player with the ball. They should have realised that at some point Tavernier's going to have to get rid of it. And it was just, as I say, Semenyo has scored his last 2 penalties. He tends to put them low to the keeper's right. So we'll see whether or not goalkeeper Verbruggen has done some research as far as this is concerned, and whether or not Semenyo is going to have a bit of a variation this time. Just waiting for the referee's whistle. We'll see how long the run-up is here from Semenyo. He has got a very powerful shot on him, and it may well be that he's going to try a placement. Just a couple of steps to the run-up for the Bournemouth forward. And he steps forward, he goes, in fairness, Verbruggen guessed the right way from the previous 2 penalties, but Semenyo changes his mind, goes the other way, and Bournemouth go 2-1 up.
Yeah, I think if I'd have been Verbruggen, I would have dived to the left. He's looking on the inside of him like, that's where I'm putting the ball, that's where I'm putting the ball. I'm thinking, well, I wouldn't mind playing poker with you, because I'm pretty sure that you're not. But anyway, the old double bluff, and the ball went the other way. But it's a really good penalty, that.
And it all starts, we're getting a replay of the entire move now. It starts off with a terrible ball back from Lewis Dunk. Excellent work from Tavernier, but it's almost like that sort of playground thing you see where everyone just chases after the ball because I have to get the ball. Well, no, you don't. You're not on a professional field. You can actually have 2 people trying to track Tavernier and the other 3 trying to arrange themselves at the edge of the area. But all the Brighton players chased after the man with the ball, and that left Evan Nielsen free. He was brought down, and the penalty was dispatched confidently.
Yeah, it is childlike. I watch these teams where players chase back and then they turn round and it's like too late. And you think, well, what were you chasing for? Did we really think Tavernier was going to beat 5? No, he got his work cut out and he's back to goal. You know, they needed to be organised and they needed to communicate. And then the other thing, when you're running back, I always think, oh, I'm going to run back and help the team out. But often in your peripheral vision, you see the opposition, you see players in a different colour shirt, and you think, maybe I'll run the inside track of him, he can't get the ball. Then you're doing your job. None of that happened there. It was a scandalous ball from Dunk, wasn't it, really? But, you know, he's usually a good passer, but, just didn't spot his man there.
He didn't, and now Brighton find themselves in trouble just as... they won the ball. That's another strong challenge. There's going to be a yellow card here, I think. The referee...
Milner.
It is Milner, yeah. So my colleague said that there's always a chance that James Milner could get a yellow card, and the yellow card he gets.
Well, that would have been my bet today. I think, I mean, he's full-blooded, and like I said, he... oft-times now a little bit late on the scene, but
just as you said that, you reminded me of what you said at the start of this game. So I had a quick glance at Palace against Sunderland. There has been a yellow card, but it's only Daniel Munoz. No yellow card for Will Hughes so far.
The usual suspect, say Munoz, another one.
Yeah, he's another one who's always a good shout. But yeah, I'm surprised at Milner with all of his experience. I mean, I suppose the ball was there to be won, but it's bad. It's a bad judgment there for Milner. He should never have gone for that, I don't think.
No, it's a poor challenge. It really is. He raking studs over the top of the boot of Tyler Adams. He'd feel that. Strong challenge. A key cog at Milner. Full-blooded and all that. But, anyway.
Well, I mean, it's something he's going to have to be careful of now because this referee, although he has given he has let a few challenges go. Generally speaking, Peter Banks has been getting his card out fairly readily this afternoon.
My other thought about Brighton is that they've got to be really careful with their exchange because it's their last, isn't it? The last opportunity to make changes. So he won't want to go too soon in case he gets injuries, Fabian Hertzler, but he's got to do something. And I think he's probably got to bring Baleba on and take Milner off now with that yellow card. I think that's got to change. You know, you don't want to be.
Yeah, I mean, I say there's. I would guess that when we see a change for Brighton, it's likely to be a triple change. It may well be that he wants to wait another 5 or 6 minutes, but the change he makes is only going to be one more. So it's.
But it's difficult because Yari's come on, but he's not really working, is he? Well, we're hardly mentioning him. I'm sure he's working hard, but. Yeah, there's a lack there, and certainly Baleba in that engine room has got to come on, I think.
Baleba's one option. I think we're likely to see Brian Gruder as well. He's looked better and better.
Yeah, pace. Got pace about him, hasn't he? So, yeah, even if it's just pace through the middle of the park, I'd bring him on. And
I'll tell you what, I've actually seen Seamas play in a game against Oxford in the Cup, where I thought the big Greek forward looked all right as well, so that he's Brighton's new number 9. It may well be that they choose to take Welbeck off as well, which they often do. Welbeck rarely plays a full 90 these days, but there's certainly some options there in terms of an attack. And you look at Bournemouth, of course, they're completely different. They've not had to even think about making any changes yet. But we're talking about Brighton's changes. There does seem to be a bit of activity on the bench, and it looks like a triple change as well.
It does. Gruder's definitely one of those, number 8, spotted him. So, he's really quick. Interesting. Here's
what a
Semenyo.
drop of the shoulder that is, though, from Semenyo. He leaves Kaidoglu in his wake, and now it's played over towards the left-hand side. Tavernier with the ball in. He's got Evan Nilsson running into the 6-yard box, but Van Hecker doing some good covering there, and it's just the consolation prize of Bournemouth of a corner kick.
Well, Evan Nilsson runs into the goal, but the ball doesn't reach him. His run was great. Lovely turn from Semenyo, and now we're going to see a few changes. Well, Kluivert about to come on.
Kluivert's getting ready to come on for Bournemouth. I think it was Krupi stood there with him as well. It's another change. Of course, Ben Doak is now a Bournemouth player, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not he can make some sort of impact this afternoon. But right now we're going to see a right-footed in-swinging corner from Alex Scott from this left-hand side, and there's plenty to aim for inside that penalty area. But he plays it low to Brooks, who leaves it here for Tavernier. Tavernier then goes for goal. I tell you what, he really put his foot through that. But because there were players closing him down, he leans back and he just sends it over the bar in the end.
Yeah, really clever, inventive corner kick that. 2 players at the edge of the area. A little step over from one. Buys just a soup son of time, and he just inches away from that top corner.
He smashed that though, hasn't he? He's really put his laces through that one. That was a really good strike. And my colleague was absolutely right. Carlos Baliba will be one of the 3 players that are coming on here for Brighton. We're also going to see Ruter and Welbeck go off. So that's going to be confirmation. It's Ruter, Welbeck and Milner who are going off. And it's Baliba, Tsimas and Gruder coming on to replace them. So it's pretty much what we expected there. It makes sense for Baliba to go into central midfield. It makes sense for Gruder to go in the number 10 slot. And it makes sense for Tsimas to go up front, as Bournemouth are going to make changes as well. Alex Scott is going to get the hook. He's had a really good game, of course, has scored the first goal in the game of this afternoon as well. He's going off, getting a decent ovation from the home crowd, as he deserves, of course. It's been taking a while for him to find his feet. He's replaced. It's showing that Kluivert's coming on for him, but I don't think that's right. I think Kluivert's likely to play in a more advanced role, unless Tavernier is going to get told to drop a little bit deeper, perhaps.
Well, no. So Kluivert for Brooks, really. And Adley.
That's the other change. I wasn't expecting to see the Moroccan coming on, but he's a central midfielder. So interesting to see how he's going to get on. He's arrived this summer from Leverkusen for 20 million. So certainly one that they'll be hoping that he can grow into this team as well here, Amin Adli. So for the time being, it is Bournemouth in possession. Long ball up towards Justin Kluivert. And as John mentioned just after kickoff, it's an unusual one with Kluivert because he would have been one of the first people on the team sheet last season, but he just seems to have just fallen away a little bit since the start of the year.
He was ready up, wasn't he? He couldn't stop scoring goals, and
he had a run of penalties as well, didn't he? He scored a run of penalties for Bournemouth at one time.
Well, he's a good sub to have. I don't know what's happened to him, or maybe he's picked up. I mean, he's tended to pick up little niggly injuries because he's quite quick, isn't he? He's one of those, really. Interesting stuff. But can anybody make the best of that? Well, a little foul there.
We was just to say, just getting back to live pictures after we saw all the substitutes there, and it looked like it was Tsimas just fighting with, just trying to close this one down. Tsimas getting all. I mean, there's nothing in that really. Senesi's gone over like he's been kicked, and I don't think there was much contact there at all.
I was doing a little story about Adley in the preview to this game, and he and his best mate were pondering their futures in the summer, thinking, well, I wonder what's up next for us. And that's one of his best mates, Bafode Diakite. Neither one of them knew they were going to go to Bournemouth. But they both ended up at the same place. And at the start of the summer, both of them were thinking, well, I wonder where we're going to end up, So that's nice, playing with your Bessies. Here come Brighton.
They do. It's a ball down the left-hand side. They're looking for Tsimas. Decent challenge, though. Putting that one out was Veljko Milosavljevic. Should be able to get that one. But it's out for a throw here to Brighton down the left-hand side, which is taken quickly by Kaidoglu. Cleared up towards the halfway line. Evan Nilsson got 3 Brighton players around him, but he plays this one back towards Adams. A long ball over the top for Semenyo, who's onside. He takes it. Oh, he treads on the ball. That slows down his run completely. But he's at least able to keep possession here for his side, playing it back towards Tavernier.
I pretty much agree with all the substitutions. I don't really know why Ruta had to go off. I thought he was playing pretty well. He certainly played his part in the goal with that little scoop ball over the top for Minte, who...
Well, arguably, he's more visible than the other two attacking midfielders, Mitoma and Minte, but I suppose you wouldn't really want to take them off either. It's a strange one, that I think, that he's replaced him. But we're over the three-quarter mark of the game now. It's coming up to 70 minutes gone. It is Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1, and it will be John to take us through to full-time.
Yeah, maybe the fact that he was on a yellow card might have played some sort of part in that. Anyway, it's Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. It's been a great game, this. Very enjoyable. I think we said at the start of the second half, we could see both the teams scoring, and they both have. But that means that Bournemouth are back in front. And now playing out from the back, Carlos Baleba just drops the shoulder, finds Van Aert. Gruder comes deep to get a first touch for him. The German, who got lots of pace about him. Hasn't quite cemented his place, but maybe that will come. And you never know with injuries how things work out. Long ball, but this time nobody can get a foot on that. And they need to work that a little bit harder. So Stefanos Tsimas, I don't know too much about him, but he'll hoping to do well. He and Charalampos Kostoulas, the two Greek boys, they'll be wishing each other on, won't they? But it's Tsimas today. I think they both played for the reserves or under 21s or something. I think they're both fairly young lads, aren't they? Fairly typical of Brighton, who got a lot of their work done early. So too for Bournemouth in the window.
Brighton are a blueprint, aren't they, for so many teams in terms of not just getting the huge returns for their players, but to me the most impressive thing about Brighton, I've got to say, over the last 4 or 5 seasons, is the fact that they've changed managers so many times, and yet it's not always gone perfectly, but the team certainly hasn't gotten any worse with every appointment. The style of play, the way the squad is kept together, has been the same with every manager.
Yeah, and there's a lot of chopping and changing. It's like nothing. They never settle. Players come and go, but they keep that continuity somehow, and that sense of identity as well, which I think is important. And here they're trying to roll through, but the ball's too heavy, and no chance for Stefanos Tsimas. Baleba there looking to pick a pocket. You could forgive this lad for having his head turned and thinking about earning pots of money here, there, and everywhere. But let's face it, if you're at Brighton, you're in a shop window, aren't you? And you pretty much know at some point you're going to get your move.
No, you are. It's not even a case of Brighton not having the ambition. It's that Brighton are a selling club. They will sell players for the right price. And to say they've been bailed out in many ways by Chelsea taking a few of their players for huge money, but they've always managed to sort of replace and kick on, and it's never really affected them as a team, as Brighton are caught in possession now. Yeah,
they are, and then they're challenging back then. I think there might be a card for Baleba there, who just made sure
he's not happy at Baleba, because I think he felt as though it was shared blame for when the ball was lost, and then he had to take one for the team. We'll see here. And it's not a good ball.
Well, it's his fault.
It is his fault. Yeah.
I think maybe he's angry with himself, but
either that, or he wanted maybe Dunk to just move into some space. But whatever it was, he certainly seems to be aiming that towards somebody initially. But it might just be that he's giving himself a talking to.
Yeah, I think so. And then he tangles with Marcus Tavernier, and it is a free kick then. And we're talking about Kluivert from set piece. I wonder if this will sort him, but no. Amin Adli, the Moroccan, will have a go. So I can't confess to having seen him play, let alone strike a ball. But maybe Tavernier stood in his way there. Anyway, he's lining something up, Tavernier, but I don't know. It looks like Adli's going to take it left-footed, and they'll be hoping to stick it over the top of the wall. Well, he hits the ball hard, and that's a really good hit, but it's covered well enough by Verbruggen, who gets
standing save in the end from Verbruggen. So he didn't even have to make a dive; he had to just scramble across and make sure he got his arms up to that one, but it was a decent save after a decent free kick as well. And now here come Brighton down the left.
Yeah, it was a good hit, that, wasn't it? Here come Brighton then, just a little step over from Mitoma, and looking for a give and go. They carry on down the left hand side. Karaoglu, Mitoma linking up quite well, it looks like, down the left. I think Karaoglu can he play right back as well? I think possibly. Anyway, the ball steered down the right side. It's not a good ball there, but anyway, it won't be given up on. And then just good enough from Trufair, just shepherding and shielding the ball out. So anyway, what's going on elsewhere in the...
Well, not much is going on in those games that were 0-0 at half-time are still 0-0. So we've got 3 Premier League games are goalless. Palace, Sunderland, Everton, Villa and Fulham Leeds. Just looking at the Fulham Leeds game, very little happening in the second half in terms of efforts on goal. There have been 2 shots from Fulham, 4 from Leeds, 2 each on target. So they're not spoiling the 2 sets of supporters in that one. Everton against Villa is goalless as well. And it's been a threadbare second half. No efforts on target at all from either side. As here come Bournemouth now down the right-hand side in our game.
I think maybe we've been spoilt with this game. It's been end-to-end, really, hasn't it? And both teams have their philosophies. For Bournemouth, they're very direct when they have the ball. For Brighton, they try and condense play, don't they? And playing the opposition half, they throw a lot of numbers forward when they attack. As Van Ecke has the ball now, he chips it down the flank. Picked up by the attacker, Yankuba Minter, but he forced into a little fight there, and he came off second best, and the ball goes straight out. But
yeah, there's a Bournemouth player down, so referee won't allow play to resume here. It's Truffet who's down, and he seems to be in quite a bit of pain there as well.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot to say for himself, which makes me think maybe he's not injured. But he sidles off now, and it's going to be a throw for Veltman to take. A little smile on his face there, but quickly recedes when he remembers that his team's losing. So I don't know why he's taking his time. You'd book it for time wasting if Brighton were on the lead. Anyway, he puts the ball in. It's headed away by Michael Senetsi. He's had a quiet game, Senetsi. He's seemingly not had much to do, but they don't. The way that Welbeck played, he didn't really play like a traditional 9 today. He's not isolating himself on the centre backs and all that. He'd been pulling wide and making holes for other people to run through. Quite intelligent play. Simos seems to be running through the middle of the Greek, but they can't find him just yet. Ball looking for Semenyo. He hangs out to a right boot. Will bring it in. He's running at Karaoglu. Runs him into the box. It's a great challenge, Karaoglu. Semenyo keeps going, and Semenyo's won the ball back at the edge of the area. Then a shot comes in. It's blocked at source, and eventually Baleba just puts a boot to ball and clears, goes all the way down the field. Petrovic then out of his feet. Miloslavjevic, the Serb, picks it up, and then he clips it forward. It's not a good ball from him, and that'll be picked up by the keeper for Bruggen. Sun's still shining, and the Bournemouth fans will be slightly happier, but I'm not necessarily certain that we've seen the end of the scoring. That last shot from Kluivert hit Van Ecke in the face.
It did, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that Brighton's goal came out of absolutely nothing. We had just a quick ball and then a lovely cross into the area. So from that point of view, Brighton would feel confident they can still create a similar chance if they get that opportunity. But Bournemouth now just want to try and keep the ball as high up the field as they can.
Yeah, and Brighton making inroads now, and then it looked like a little bit of a dive in the middle of the park there. Anyway, referee is giving it. There was just a late challenge coming in from Matt Adley, the Moroccan. I thought the first touch there let Yari down, and then he ends up being bailed out by Adley's lumbering challenge, if you like, but a poor touch led to that happening. Anyway, Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1, and it's a free kick for Brighton. Sun shining, big white fluffy clouds rolling over the top of the stadium, and so chance for Gruder to load the box up. He's floating it to the far post. The ball's not being cleared. They might have a chance here. Dunk just lays it back, and eventually down the right hand side, Minter then out to the flank, and he gets the cut back, drops the shoulder, works his way into the box here, tries a shot, and that's blocked away by Senetsi before his keeper had to save it. Baleba now, a little step from him, beats 2 with that brilliant stuff. Gruder now out to the right side. Another chance for Minter then. Floats the ball into the box. Plenty of blue and white shirts in there. It's only just been cleared. Ball bouncing, and Tyler Adams lets the ball bounce. That perhaps was a mistake, but he got away with that. Just 10 minutes left of play.
It's amazing, isn't it? Bournemouth have been so good at keeping the ball high up the field, but it's that knee-jerk psychological reaction when you're 2-1 up at home with 10 minutes to go. You just start closing up, sitting back a little bit deeper. It's not a criticism because every team in the world does it. It's impossible to press high when you're 2-1 up and you're trying to defend the lead, but immediately it just encourages Brighton to get that bit further forward.
Yeah, here comes Minter again around the back, but he's overtouched that. He can only just tickle that ball back in, and that makes it easy for Petrovic. Minter's been pretty good though, hasn't he?
He has. I mean, he's always a threat on that right-hand side. We just saw the lines, but he actually ran the ball out even before it got into the keeper's arms anyway. But we're seeing a replay of this previous effort where Minte's effort, I mean, Petrovic is diving, but fair play to Senesi as well.
Yeah, Senesi makes sure his keeper didn't have to save it, but the keeper was probably going to save it. Tyler Adams now decides to go backwards to Michael Senesi. And again, they swap passes, but they're getting deeper and deeper. Petrovic right foot way over the halfway line, headed back where it came by Van Ecke. And then Baleba just can't quite get there, but he's done well since he's come on. The ball back though with Tavernier, now Semenyo. And again, Karioglu won't sell himself. He's a good defender and makes it difficult. Tavernier again running across, but no chance for a strike there. Now the ball looking for an overlap, true fair overlapping, and the effort comes in. And it's headed away by Van Ecke again. The keeper's diving, but he didn't have to make a save. But maybe that shot from Kluivert comes too easily.
Yeah, I think he's not happy there, Verbruggen. He's certainly berating his defenders there. That deflection, for a second, I thought I might just wrong foot the keeper, but in the end, it takes a long way away from goal with that header from Van Ecke.
He was banging those in for fun, wasn't he, last season, Kluivert? Don't give him half yard at the edge of your box. He's a serious good strike. Anyway, it's another corner for Bournemouth, and an opportunity to load up. They grab another goal here. They've got the game won, but they're not necessarily overcommitting. I don't think they're quite as tall as Brighton are. They've always got to dunk to rely on, and Van Ecke is not small either. But anyway, Tavernier will be hoping to get it right. Captain's armband on. He gives a thumbs up, and he's saying, well, what's going on here? He's got 2 markers in front of Verbruggen. The ball comes in, and there are the defensive feathers, and it will be Brighton who are able to clear their lines eventually. And the ball thumped away over the halfway line. A chance to run, and then Minter wins the ball, and he slips. That's dead unfortunate because James Hill there was caught dolly daydreaming just for the second. Minter got there in front of him, and an unfortunate slip by him.
It is, because there was a chance to use that ball then, but as you said, he just lost his footing at the time when he could have run after the ball, and now a long ball down the left-hand side puts Bournemouth on the attack. It's end-to-end.
Yeah, it is. And so a little step over from Kluivert, drags it to the byline, chips the ball across, but there's nobody there. It looks like now running the ball back out is...
Karioglu, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, Karioglu, who I think it's looked good since he's come on. I think he's done some sterling efforts there. Again, Minter's the out ball down the right side. He's got Bruder in front of him, but he was nudged from the back there by Semenyo, but play on. Brighton had the ball only for a split second. It didn't work out well enough for them at all as the ball now fired forward. A little mistake there. Was there a foul on the last man for Brighton? Nothing given. The ball bouncing around the middle of the park. But
Brighton weren't happy. I think a few of the Brighton players felt as though Minter might have been brought down. I mean, he's only just picked himself up now.
Yeah, maybe he was fouled, but if so, not spotted by the referee, who I think he's had to work hard in this game, and he's becoming a bit more of a centre circle referee, I think, because this game keeps going end to end. So he must have covered an awful lot of ground as well as the players today. Yeah,
he's put in a shift, Peter Banks, for sure, as Bournemouth win themselves another corner. Exactly what the doctor ordered when they're just trying to slow things down here towards the end of this game. It's decent work there to try and keep that ball alive. It's out for a corner here on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Adley's done well since he's come on, the Moroccan there, and Miloslavljevic, then he'll walk into the scene. Again, I think they've got 2 markers for the keeper, trying to get in Verbruggen's way, and then just hoping he they can put the ball that close in, they scrape it in somehow. Senetsi having his own fight with Karioglu. And then Tyler Adams too deep into the keeper, I think was fouling him. No attempt to play the ball there, nothing given by the referee, but the ball brought down in the box by Senetsi, then he crosses it back. Referee sees nothing wrong with this, as the ball still in the box with the Bournemouth fighting for it, and eventually it pops up into the hands of Bruggen. I thought he's been fouled. Tyler Adams making no attempt to play the ball, just keep backing and backing into him. For me, it's a foul.
Well, it is, but you see that every week with keepers being fouled, keepers committing fouls, defenders and forwards pushing each other, and it's just a toss of a coin or even a raffle as to whether the referee gives a free kick or a penalty or not. And just always got to take that gamble, really. But here come Brighton with Mitoma.
Yeah, and he cuts inside the challenge of Hill. He'd gone a little bit too deep back into midfield there, and the chance was gone, but the ball breaks to Van Eyck and then out to the right hand side with Veltman. So he puts a ball in, headed away, but just the edge of the area. Shot comes in from Belair, but he got underneath that one, and that one floats over the top. The sun's shining. Bournemouth now about to make another couple of changes. So
it looks like Lewis Cook is going to be coming on here for Bournemouth. And alongside him is going to be Jimenez as well, the midfielder. So, in fact, the defender, I should say, Jimenez. So, a couple of changes here now. Just waiting for confirmation as to see who's going to be going off for the Cherries. It's going to be Tavernier. He's going to be one of the changes. So, you'd imagine that he's going to be replaced here by Lewis Cook, who at one time would have been one of the first on the team sheet. But he's had a few injury problems as well as Lewis Cook, which has just slowed down his progress and staying in the first team. But he's on the field now for these last 4 minutes, I should say, plus added time. And the other player going off is James Hill. Yeah,
James Hill, I think he's had a difficult time today. No doubt they're missing the captain. Adam Smith is solid, dependable at right back. But again, for James Hill, he's not picnic marking Mitoma, is he? But just that last beating of him just drops the shoulder and beat him too easily, really. But it's a steep learning curve for the youngsters in the Premier League. Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. It remains sun shining, and Brighton have the ball. Who's to say they can't fashion another chance or two? Long ball snuffed out, one back then. Yesterday, Yari on as a sub early, but I think they've traded down with him, and Inchwood is somebody who can drive the team and who pops up in the box and scores vital goals. He's a good header of the ball as well. And
he is. I am a fan of Ayari's, but he has been a little bit anonymous today, and that's always a bad sign for a central midfielder. If your team aren't attacking and you're a forward, then you wouldn't expect to see the ball. But a central midfielder, whether your team's playing well or badly, you should still be in the game. And Ayari's not really been involved that much.
No, not really. Need to do a little bit better. Maybe his workload, or maybe he's not quite ready to be starting games, which is why I was on the bench. There'd be reasons. Anyway, here come Bournemouth again. True fair ball into the box from the left-hand side. He's headed away. A counter-attack on, but the defenders get back. They do well. Plenty of them there now to try and keep the scoreline as it is. As Miloslavljevic now clears his lines over the halfway line, but the ball's won back. Karioglu, instant control from him. Little heel, and he's on his bike. Looks good today. He finds the number 9, Simas, who wanted too long on the ball. Semenyo just a workhorse. He works that hard. He runs past Simas again, but he runs into trouble. Karioglu now he's going forward more than he's defending. He's over the halfway line. But the ball with Mitoma. Karioglu now central, and he's trying the Hollywood pass there, but he can't find a way through Lewis Cook, and so it will be Brighton making ground down the left-hand side. But as the ball gone out for a corner, the camera work wasn't great, but I think Gruder there might have won his team a corner kick.
Well, this is exactly what Brighton need. They've struggled to create any kind of decent opportunities, but they have just won themselves a corner kick here with around a minute of regulation play still to go.
Yeah, it's a vagary at this ground, but the camera work down right at the bottom of this stand, it gets lost, doesn't it? Anyway, they've got a corner. Louis Dunk's the man, isn't he? Jempal Van Eyck in there. Can they find him? Going to be a right-footed in-swinger from the left-hand side. The ball to the far post. Keeper flies at that, but he probably should have let his defenders defend. Ball with Baleba goes all the way back to his keeper. Curious thing to do. In the sunshine, then Verbruggen now launches his own Hail Mary. Camera lingers on Semenyo, but the ball's in play here for Brighton at the edge of the box. Little ball drifted in. They've three in the box there. The ball didn't find any of them. And now,
yeah, it looks like they got Van Hecker playing as an emergency striker now as well.
Yeah, and then a brilliant last-ditch challenge from Karioglu. Ran the ball out, but they were in big trouble there. Had he not got across and dealt with that, they're really overbalanced now, Brighton. But anyway, still Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. We're getting to the end knockings of the 90 minutes at least, and we'll see how much added there is dead soon. Board's about to go up, not that we'll be able to make it out. Oh, we can, 5, that's a minor miracle from our pictures that look like they're a bit like they're underwater today. Anyway, Karioglu chases back and finds Verbruggen. 2-3 touches from him. Evan Nielsen still out there, just looking at the bandage on it. It looks like his wrist that may have been caught rather than fingers, you know.
With Hinshelwood, yeah, absolutely, right at the start of the game. It seems like a long time ago that all that happened, because it's been an end-to-end sort of game. There's been some real ups and downs, particularly for Brighton. I think they'll feel frustrated at the way this game has gone this afternoon. But from Bournemouth, if they do go on to win it, they'll feel like it was a lot of hard work that allowed that to happen. But Brighton still haven't finished yet.
No, they haven't. Mitoma again trying to take his man on there, but Semenyo as ever gets back and helps out. Karioglu now wait for the throw from Mitoma, who might leave it to the Turkish international. Yeah, we've got a late goal on for Fulham against Leeds at Craven Cottage. That's in the 4th minute of added time. As I say, it looks like the other two games that were still 0-0 are going to probably play out as being 0-0, as Bournemouth waiting until injury time to make their 5th and final change. As they did make double changes on the previous 2 occasions, they can make this in their 3rd change window, if you like. So Evan Nielsen is off, and just to confirm who's going to be replacing him, it's a defensive change, no surprise really, it's going to be Soler. Yep, more midfielder, defensive midfielder, isn't he, by trade, really?
He can play it. I've seen him play at centre-back in the Carabao Cup this season as well, so he can play in that.
Julio Soler. So,
yeah. Sorry, I should have said his first name. So Julio Soler is on now for Evan Nielsen, but that's all you need to know. A centre forward replaced by a centre-back, so Bournemouth are going to defend now for these last few seconds.
Semenyo is the first line of attack, and he nearly closed down Verbruggen there. Verbruggen had to just cut inside him, and Semenyo, what an incredible work rate he puts in. Anyway, here come Brighton again. The ball floated into the box, but it's too deep, and Mitoma's not going to get on the end of that. Who would be the man of the match today then?
Semenyo's had a good game, but does he stand out? Brooks looked good, but then he went off as a sub. I think had he carried on playing as well as he had in the first half, I think Trufe might have been a shout on that left-hand side. But
Mintis had too good of a game to even give him that. It's a difficult one, isn't it? I think it'd be Scott for the goal.
Scott for the goal, Semenyo for the work rate as well, potentially. But just to tell you as well that it was Gabriel Goodmanson's own goal that's given Fulham the lead in that game against Leeds.
Yep. So anyway, Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1.
It's like Fabian Hurtzler's got a yellow card as well on the touchline. May have been that he was just kicking off about how long it was taking Bournemouth to take their goal kick. Yeah, the bit of time wasting there, I'm sure. But anyway, the Bournemouth now a nice neat triangle. Ball flicked down the flank. It doesn't really matter if they keep hold of it, but they did for a short while. The ball hammered up the field. Now Simas, can he keep it in? He runs into trouble there, and it's asking a lot from him. And Welbeck plays with such know-how, doesn't he? But the ball is won back here by Brighton, just the edge of the box. Brajan Gruder floats the ball to the far post. Just too deep. It's the wrong ball. It's the wrong ball. And Minte quickly giving it back to the goalkeeper. Of course, they want to restart play, but Gruder needed to take about 10 yards off that pass so that it was bouncing and then stopping inside the box, whereas it bounced and then carried on. There was just no way for Minte to get on the end of it. Yeah, so...
Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1, and we're in the final minute. It's been a good contest, this. Certainly high tariff of skills on show. two slightly different philosophies about how to play, but mostly about being expansive and backing yourself and not playing like you want to be a defensive unit. Both ambitions to go win the game, and you've got to love them for that. None of this we're away from home, let's grit it out. Both teams work hard, don't get me wrong, but they both did come to win the game today, and it is refreshing to see. Anyway, for Bruggen, thumps the ball down the field, plenty of blue and white shirts up there, ball headed away. I think it might be a Bournemouth to throw actually, but and that might just about be it.
Yeah, I was to say we've only got around 20 seconds of the added time left now, so it's just a case of whether the referee wants to add any more time. The two goalless games in the Premier League have now finished. It's finished Palace 0, Sunderland 0. It's finished Everton 0, Villa 0. It's also finished at Craven Cottage, Fulham 1, Leeds 0. And they're into the 4th minute of added time at St James's, where Newcastle still lead Wolves by a goal to 0. So low scoring day today.
Yeah, absolutely. But absolutely dire numbers of this game. There's a throw-in that seems to be taking forever. But and everybody getting on the referee's back. But eventually that throw comes. Semenyo will chase after it. Dunk fires it forward. The ball just hammered back. Veltman now, the big up and under, but this has got to go somewhere. Van Acker absolutely collapsed there. He goes down, and he would want play to go on, but the referee stopped it for the injury to him. So, and did he give a free kick there for Brighton?
I think he did. I mean, he's also given a yellow card for Jimenez for wasting time. So for that throw on that took so long for Bournemouth to take, there is a yellow card. I'm not so sure that Senesi does a lot wrong.
I don't think so.
It's the way that Van Hecker falls down that I think might have convinced the referee. Now I think Van Hecker's told he has to go off via as per the concussion protocol.
But he didn't bang his head.
Well, he didn't know, and as I say, the referee's just he's being a little bit too officious there, I would say.
Well, Van Eyck's not happy, and he's probably not going to come back on.
I was trying to be diplomatic and not use the word Jobsworth, but I think he is basically being a Jobsworth there, isn't he, the referee?
Well, Hertzler's got his arm stretched out, and they're saying to Van Eyck, let's look at you, but he doesn't need looking at because he's heading hurt.
He's now having to go at his own physio, saying, "Look, get off me! I want to get back on the field." But for some reason, the referee's still finding more time to add on here.
Yeah, well, they've got to go through the protocols, don't they? I suppose they can't. You're told not to take the player's word for it, so they're forced to do that. But and of course he's all right. And Van Acker can't believe that he's still doing that, like follow the finger stuff and where are you? He knows where he is. Anyway, referee has blown his whistle. There we go. Final scoreline is Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. Thanks for joining us.